Hey, what's up, guys? Charles here again. So today I wanted to talk to you about incorporating or not when you're starting off your Amazon FBA business. I do get this question quite a bit, and it's actually a really good question because if you've never been in business before, even brick and mortar, and never dealt with incorporations and stuff like that, it can be confusing. So I'll try to clarify it for you today, okay? Now, by no means is this any professional advice. That's just my uh, experience and opinion. So you should seek professional advice from lawyers and or accountants, okay? So first of all, should you incorporate when you're starting your business? In our case, for online businesses like this, I would say you do not have to. You can sell as a sole proprietor, so that's basically selling under your personal name. You still have a seller's name and a brand name, but everything goes through you personally. Okay, so there's there's down there's pros and cons to this. Obviously, pros are that it involves less fees than if you have to incorporate. Um, and it's much easier. But then cons is that you have less protection personally. Okay, there's more liability under your personal name. Okay, so you don't have to, and you probably don't want to incorporate when you start off, because if you do incorporate, there's fees. You just need to incorporate. It's gonna, depending on where you live in the country, and because for example here in Alberta you can open a corporation at the registry's office. So, and that's gonna cost you, I don't know, I've never done, but I think it's around $400 or $500. Whereas if you do it with a lawyer, um, which is what I did, it cost me about $1,000. So, um, you know, there's fees involved in opening a corporation, and then there's also maintenance fees every year. So, for example, when you do your when you have your accountant do your financial statements at the end of the year, that's going to cost you money. Bookkeeping, if you don't do it yourself, is going to cost you money. Um, Reporting sales taxes to the CRA and stuff like that. Okay, so a corporation involves fees. Okay, so if you start, I recommend you start as a sole proprietor. It's going to be easier and cheaper. Now, obviously, you'll still want to deal with an accountant for that business, even if it's under your personal name, right? So, um, dealing with an accountant, they can actually guide you. So, the it depends on every accountant, but they're probably going to tell you at one point when you start making decent money, hey, you might want to think about incorporating. First of all, because it really protects you personally, because a corporation is a moral person. So it's actually a person, if you look at in the law, really. So if something happens, for example, let's say you sell baby products, and and something happens to the person who bought it, well, something happens to their child because of the product. Now, if you're sole proprietor, they're going to go after you personally, whereas if you're incorporated, they're going to go after the corporation. Okay, uh, and so you have a lot less liability personally if you're incorporated. That's one of the pros for incorporating. And then the other pro for incorporating, or once you get to decent sales where it's actually worth it, is that you can write off a lot of expenses, right? So you can actually lower your taxes quite a bit. um, and then people also ask me, do I have to incorporate in Canada, or do I have to incorporate in the US if I sell on Amazon.com? Now, as Canadians, uh, you don't have to incorporate in the US. You can incorporate in your own province, or open a federal corporation if you want to. Personally, I have an Alberta corporation, so it's actually a numbered company, and then so a few numbers, and then Alberta Ltd. And then I also have a trade name, which is my seller name on Amazon. And so that's a provincial corporation, and you have these for every province in Canada. Or you can also open a federal corporation now. That could be a numbered company also. It would be Numbers Canada Inc. Um, Now, I don't have enough knowledge about this to tell you whether you should go provincial or federal. I went provincial. Everyone else I know in other provinces, they all went provincial as well. So, uh, and none of them opened a corporation in the U.S. So, uh, it's I think it's better to incorporate here because it's much easier to deal with taxes on our side than if you were to open a U.S. LLC, because apparently you get double tax if you do that as well. So, but you might want to get more information from your accountant about that. But anyways, just thought I'd share. So start off as a sole proprietor. Once you get to decent numbers, which would probably be around 10 grand a month in sales, then you might want to think about incorporating. But make sure you talk to your accountant and or lawyer. And yeah, if you have any other questions, you guys let me know in the comments, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. So you guys have a good one.